music DJ. Where's my music?
I'm not a pretty girl. That's not what I do. I ain't no damsel in distress, and I don't need to be rescued. So put me down, punk. Wouldn't you prefer a maiden fair? Isn't there a kitten stuck up a tree somewhere? Girl, but it seems like I've got everyone fooled. Every time I say
UGC
something
anthem,
they
y'all.
find hard to hear,
Listen
they
to the
chalk it
words.
up to my anger, never to their own fear. And imagine you're a girl just trying to finally complain, knowing full well they prefer you were dirty, smiling, and I am sorry, but I am not a maiden fair, and I am not a kitten stuck up a tree somewhere. Generation wouldn't be caught dead working for the mayor. And generally I agree with them. Trouble is you gotta have a stopping alternate plan. My disillusionment I've been working.
You know Annie DeFranco here, India. Give me high five on that.
I have been fighting the good fight.
I didn't know anybody knew
There are
her.
no damsels in distress. What if I knew that?
This is our anthem, y'all.
Don't you think every kitten figures out how to get down? Whether or not you ever show.
Sing it, India. I don't wanna be a pretty girl. I wanna be more than a pretty girl. I'm so much more than a pretty girl. Woo! All right, y'all. That's one of my favorite Annie DeFranco songs. I love me some Annie DeFranco. Prince called her a genius, by the way. You know, when he was alive, he was like, Annie DeFranco is thebomb.com. So there's that. You said, so what do y'all think about the Tyler Perry Fall from Grace in conjunction with Netflix movie? What did y'all think of it? I've heard mixed reviews from some people loved it. Other people, you know, had complaints about production. The wigs were horrible. Continuity was sketchy. It wasn't. Some people said it wasn't realistic. It wasn't believable. We said typical, but it's a scenario that does happen. Yeah. Music Lover said the movie was a good movie. Lady B said it wasn't realistic. A lot of people thought it wasn't realistic. I think what I would say about Tyler Perry, and you know, I'm not a huge fan of any sort. I do have my criticisms about his platform and how he's kind of exploited, you know, the pain of Black women, let's say. And he's exploited our pain for profit, right? So there's that. But he's not the only one that's done that. Pretty much everybody does that. The Medea character has afforded him an empire. He's built an empire from his stage plays and stuff like that. So the criticism now is that, I personally feel like his movies still have a stage play feel to them. They haven't graduated just yet out of coming out of like the Fox Theater, setting play. It still feels like you're watching like a stage play, and so we're waiting to see that grow into something else. Unfortunately, I don't think it's ever going to get past that cheesy feeling because he's exclusively the writer of his own stuff. So it kind of, it to me, it limits how expansive things could be or how expansive it could go because he doesn't allow for any other writers to come in, and especially female writers. Since all of your movies are telling female stories, Tyler, get some female feedback, get some female writers to give their spin. Listen, you are a male. You're going to see things from a man's perspective. There are nuances and different things that women go through that only a woman knows, and it's only a woman can share that. And I think that's what's missing. The essence of actually having a woman tell some of this stuff is missing, Tyler. Hire some writers so you can expand your stuff. But I don't think he will. So there's that part. The movie, I don't want to spoil it. I guess this might be a spoiler. I don't know. But it seemed rushed. It seemed the plot seemed to be rushed along, and I think that's why it wasn't believable. But there are basic lessons to be learned within it, as far as friendships goes, as far as meeting men, dating men, especially women of a certain age. After you hit a certain age, you have to be really, really cautious. You have to scrutinize, and you got to follow your mind. You have to follow your mind, because in the movie Grace, she had suspicions that she just didn't follow through on. She was like, "This something's not adding up," but she didn't want to overthink it. This is what I say all the time. She didn't want to overthink it. She was getting her second win, finally getting attention after all these years. She felt like a brand new woman. She just went with it. And she let this Renaissance man, in the movie he's an artist, this arguably good looking, because he was muscular and everything. And that's another thing, Tyler, I have a problem with how you cast. It's like Tyler casts supposedly, good looking people. Like all the men are muscular. Every movie, every show, every play or whatever, all these men are muscle bound men, just Chippendale dancer looking men. Very rarely you see men who have character, like have character in their face. They all look like they could be strippers or something like that. So I have an issue with that, Tyler. It's like you cast men that you find attractive, but we need people who have range, who just don't all look like centerfold models or Chippendale dancers or something like that. So there's that. All the men seem to look like that. She said he does have good taste in men. I was gonna say something about that, but I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. Just leave that alone. What I had to say on that. Keep that to myself. So there's that. So Grace, in meeting I think the character's name is Shannon or Shannon or Shane or something like that. He acted like a gentleman. He wasn't pushy. He was funny. He was attentive. Fascinating conversation was great. He gave her experiences that she never had before, and she got swept away. She got swept up into it. But he was very what's the word? He interrogated her. Like he wanted to find out everything about her, and she offered all of her information. She basically presented herself as a woman who was wounded in the movie. She said, and he was like, well, at one dialogue they had, I think she was sort of like, well, why do you want me? And he was like, well, why can't it be you? And I'm ad libbing here. Well, why shouldn't it be you? Why can't it be you? And she was like, well, divorce does that to you, makes you second guess your worth, your value, and all that stuff. So she gave him the green light, all of her buttons to push, all of her weaknesses, all of her insecurities, all of her past failures, her past relationship failures. She gave him all that ammo, and he used all of that information to manipulate her. That's what he did. And this is what men do. You don't give them everything up front. For men to know everything about your life, I liken that to intercourse. Yeah, information is like intercourse. You should write that down. Information to know you is like having intercourse with you. Why is that? Because once you know everything about me, I'm exposed. Just as if I'm standing there naked or laying there naked on the bed waiting for you to enter me. It's the same thing. Once you put all your business out there and let a man know everything about you, it's it's a psychological love making. It's a psychological sex. He's inside of you now. He's inside of your mind. Then he plays puppet master. Then he plays puppet master on you, and that's what happened in the movie. She gave it all away. Talked to him for hours. And that's another thing. I told y'all, don't be talking to these dudes for hours and hours and hours on the phone. Don't give them all of that time. You have to be conservative. You have to be a little liberal, just dish it out in baby spoonfuls, not the whole thing. Don't give them the whole pie. Don't give them the whole pie. Y'all giving away all your snacks, all your candies, or all your red hots and your Boston baked beans. You giving them all your sour power, your lemon heads. You giving them all your candy, all your candy. You can't give him all your candy. You give him a little taste test, and then you fall back to see how he handles that. You fall back to see what his reaction is, what how things shift as you reveal yourself. Why do you do this? To protect yourself. Once a person knows everything about you, you are vulnerable. It is just like having sex. Just like it. You're vulnerable. So there's that. Now, y'all know Grace had that what Felicia Rashad's character. I can't remember what was Felicia Rashad's character's name. But their friendship, she pushed her to go out, to go on this date. Her name was Sarah. Yes, Sarah. Sarah was the older friend in the relationship who was there to help Grace recover from her divorce and different setbacks or whatever. She was right there with her, holding her hand for all of, I think, 5 years in the story. They were friends for 5 years. Friends for 5 years. And she was the one that kind of set up the whole thing for Grace to meet this artist guy. And y'all know what the plot, I won't say what that plot is for those who haven't seen it yet, um, I won't get into all of that to spoil the whole thing. But basically, she befriended Grace. She was like the older friend that's just there to support. You know, all her glory days are gone behind her, and she's just there to make sure that Grace doesn't end up like her home alone, you know, petting her cats or something like that. And y'all, some of y'all get caught up with these older friends, these older women friends that supposedly don't have no skin in the game, supposedly are not competing with you, supposedly are not jealous, and have left that phase of their life behind them, but encourage you to do that. Oh, my hoeing days are over, but they trying to set it up for you to go out and hoe. You got to be careful of women like this. You got to be careful, and this is why I say you don't have any friends. And I'm not saying that to say you can't go out with anybody. I'm not saying that to say you can't give nobody money if they need to, or give them chicken soup when they're feeling sick, or run their kids to daycare if they're running late, or whatever friends do. What I'm saying is people have agendas that they hide and they conceal. And women, for the most part, for some reason, we're designed to hide our jealousy, our loathe, our competitiveness. We hide it real well, and we send other women up the river. We send other women up the river, and how are we able to do this? Through information. Once somebody gets close enough to know all your business, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. You're like you're like an open wound around them, because they can destroy you. They can destroy you. So if you can have relationships with people without putting yourself 100% out there, like totally being vulnerable to other people, that would be my suggestion for you to do. That's the safest course, and you can still be a quote unquote friend to them without making yourself vulnerable. You can still be a friend to them. But in this movie, she was the older woman giving her support, encouraging her to get her life. Ain't this what older women do? Get your life, girl, so you don't end up like me. And most of the time, it be a setup. They tell you to get your life just to watch you fall. You're like a soap opera to them. You're like a soap opera to them, and they encourage you to do stuff that they know they even know where it leads to. It leads to nowhere, but they encourage you to do it. You say Grace needed a black pill? Yeah, yes she did. Yes, she did. I told women, I told sisters, especially my oldest sisters, listen. Y'all think because you can bag up a younger man, younger man is trying to holler at you, that it makes you special. And the realistic part of this thing is that a lot of us are being scammed out here. A lot of us are being told things that we want to hear so that we can give them the free meal, the free rent, the free sex, or whatever it is. So some of our tax money, whatever, new car, whatever it is y'all buying these dudes out here. You're extremely flattered, and you think you're special because a younger man is paying attention to you. And you have to be more scrutinizing. You have to pace yourself even further, because the chances of it being all smoke and mirrors is so much more. It's a higher percentage. It's a higher percentage, a higher probability that it's all smoke and mirrors. But I see y'all on social media. I see all kind of thirst trapping photographs. You know, the dude knows you're sucking in your gut. He knows. He knows you're wearing a girdle underneath that dress. He knows that. You're up here parading your little struggle plates, your little canned vegetable struggle plates, I call them. Oh, look what I cook. I'm Susie Homemaker out here. Who can make a homemade meal like me? And everything on there is from a can. You know, and you putting it out there like you hot shit. Like you really, really hot shit, and people missing out if they don't get all this magic that you got. Listen, I'm telling y'all the truth. I'm telling y'all the truth. A lot of men, if you have 10 men trying to holler at you, maybe one of them genuinely likes you. This is called Fredo's, is it Fredo's distribution. It's a law of numbers. Law of numbers that we all on this planet are affected by. If you have 100 employees, only 20% of them, 20% of the 100 are doing 100% of the work. You heard of the 80-20 rule? Have you heard of the 80-20 rule? Only 20% of your effort is going to yield 80% results. That's how this thing goes. So if you have 5 or 6 or whatever dudes hollering at you, chances are most of them are trash. Most of them are going to be trash. This is the law of numbers that we live by. So I need for you to stop taking people seriously. Most of the compliments that you get are not genuine. Now I know these level up chicks, they got you buying programs and all that stuff. They feeding you hope. They feeding you hope, but I'm telling you on the back end, I'm telling you the sidebar conversations, I'm telling you when their cameras go off, they're laughing at you. They're laughing. I don't know, but let's give her hope. Let's give her hope that you're gonna get a millionaire before the girl you're buying the program from does. Houseway, you're buying her program to get a millionaire before she does. You and her are competing for the same millionaire, but she's giving you secrets. How, Swain? How? Talk to me. Talk to me. We got to stop this nonsense for 2020, y'all. We got to stop a lot of this nonsense for 2020. Our dear brother, and I have to mention this, Kobe Bryant just passed away in a plane crash in Calabasas today. His private helicopter went down. I actually saw footage of it. It just tailspin and crashed. Horrible, into a ball of flames. And it got to me because I'm like, I think he was only 41. Yeah, Kobe and his daughter that I believe he was training her to be a basketball player too. And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, Kobe was a family man. I think his wife just had another baby like a year ago. Can you imagine the pain that woman's going through now? Having to bury a husband and one of her babies. Horrible, horrible, horrible. But you know what some sisters are saying? Well, he didn't give his wealth to a black woman. So some sisters are not they're not grieving for him. They say, he turned his back on black women, so there's that. Must we make everything about your clitoris and your vaginal canal? Must everything be about that? This man is not, he's still burning in the canyons and Calabasas. His body's still burning right now. And y'all motherfuckers are talking about who don't want to have sex with you. That's all we're about. We turn into animals, We turn into animals. Animals. Is the baby 7 months old? Oh my God. And he had all girls. All girls. I'm so saddened by this for so many reasons. For so many reasons. And it just brings home the point that I've always made on this channel, which is that life is fleeting. It's so short, and we as women, we put ourselves on hold. We diminish our value and our worth because we don't look like this, or we don't, what, all this ridiculousness. And tomorrow's not promised. Kobe went on that helicopter thinking he was going to go back home tonight. He expected to wake up tomorrow morning and do whatever he had planned for the rest of the week. He expected to be able to do that, and he cannot do that anymore. So tomorrow is not promised. So when you ladies are worried about the frivolities, like, being cute, or leveling yourselves up and all that stuff, I need you to really, really hone in and take into account your blessings. Your blessings. You have intellect, you can think, you can hear, you can see, you can talk, you can get up and walk. Do you know how blessed you are? Do you know how blessed you are? Yeah, I say God bless them too. I say God bless them too. My aunt was in a car accident, but she's doing okay. Oh, thank the Lord. I'm glad your aunt is doing okay, Mimi. People are people are leaving left and right, and tomorrow isn't promised. So when you think about feeling inadequate, and you allow people to rob you of time, because that's what happens there. When you sit here feeling inadequate, you are allowing people to rob you of your life and of time that they can't give you. They can't give you back neither one. They can't give you back either one. You have to stop being afraid of men. You have to stop being afraid of people. You have to stop thinking that everybody is better than you. You have to stop thinking that you don't belong in spaces that you want to be in. You have to stop thinking that you're not entitled to what it is that you desire. You gotta feel entitled to the things that you want, or you'll never get them. You got to feel entitled. How do you feel entitled, Selkis? By declaring it. By declaring it, by putting on the armor, by acting as if. That's how you do that. That's how you do this thing. When you were 5, and I did my previous video, or was it a post that I did, where I talked about the imagination. We have to relearn how to imagine again, because that is where creativity is. When you were 5 years old and you wanted to be a queen, you had no money, you had no authority over what you wore, or who got what for you. You were totally helpless at 5. But if you wanted to embody the energy of a queen, you went and got your mama's shoes. You went and put on her dress. You went and got an old sweater and put it over your head and make your hair long or whatever, because you saw how queens look on TV. That's another argument, but you saw it and you was like, I'm going to embody that. So let me get this shirt, put it on my head for my hair. Let me get my mother's dress and put it on. That's my gown. Let me go grab her shoes. Let me grab a broomstick. That's my staff. The chair that I'm sitting in is my throne, and you became a queen. You used what you had, the resources you had around you, to embody that thing that you wanted to be. And we knew this at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We did it. We did it. And what happened then? When you were 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and you needed to get something, you went to your mother and said, Mom, I need this. Mom, this is what I want. Your mother said, well, no, I don't think you should have it. Mom, I really want it. Look what it does, Mom. It lights up. It turns green. It costs this much, which isn't a lot of money. You came to her with information and conviction, even though she had authority over you at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you got children, you know what I'm talking about. They'll come to you at 8 and 9 with authority. Mom, I need to have this. because this goes along with XYZ that I need. And they don't come to you in fear. They don't come to you in doubt or self-doubt or any kind of self-conscious, oh, I don't think I deserve that. They don't even come to you with that. And if they have to bargain with you, well, Mom, I'm gonna take the test. I'm gonna get the A on the test. If I get the A on the test, can I get it? They're willing to bargain. They're willing to give you something to get it, whatever it is. But one thing they weren't was ashamed about asking for what they wanted. And we've forgotten how to be in that space. Now you're scared, you're ashamed to ask for what you want because you don't embody the energy. Well, I don't feel authentic self because, what if people call me a fool? Or, what if they think I'm crazy? These are thoughts that we as adults think. Well, people are going to think I'm crazy if I start acting like this, or if I start saying that, or I start dressing like this, or I start wanting that. We worry about what everybody else thinks instead of the key component to manifesting, which is total submersion. Children do this naturally. They totally submerge. You call it role play. We call it role playing or whatever, but they totally submerge themselves in whatever the archetype is, whatever the character is, whatever that thing is that they say they want to be or have, they go all in. They go all in without shame. And here we are, adults with all of this intellect, all of this higher knowledge, supposedly, that we don't apply, that we're afraid to apply, because in order for you to implement anything, you need backup. You need your friends to be doing it too. You need your mother to say yes. You need your pastor to sign on. You need your husband to give you support. And once you wait on that whole line up there, by the time you get all of that, you forgot what you even wanted. By the time you go through that list, the list of people who have to sign on to whatever this thing is that you want, you forgot what you even wanted. And that's how that goes. So true. And so many women are paying those level up chicks, charging people upwards of $3,000 per session. Listen, I don't knock nobody hustle or whatever they're doing, because some people say that it works. I'm not counting nobody else's money. That's whatever people charge what they're worth, and you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to do that as an entrepreneur. That's the beauty of being an entrepreneur and not working an hourly wage. You set the price for your value. You get to dictate that. My only thing with all of that is really just to caution you to be careful that you are not buying into something that really is not for you. That really isn't for you. I know quite a few women who went through some of these wife school programs who were told to do certain things and act a certain way and whatever. And listen, if you're not a size 4 like your instructor, then you have to take a pause there. If you're not a size 4 like your instructor, then her little Rolodex that she's promising, to give you connections to whatever man's looking for a wife overseas or something like that. She got you on a roster or some kind of goddamn registry because you paid the $3,000 for it, but she's not calling your name. She's not calling your name. Y'all need to remember Fredo's distribution, the 80-20 rule. If 100 women take a course, only 20 out of those 100 are the women that she's going to focus on, are the women that she can actually get rich men to buy on to whatever her graduate level skills. It's only 20 of them. It's only 20%. So listen, y'all. Lashes are not going to do it. I know. Lashes are not going to do it. The right foundation is not going to do it. The right clothes is not going to do it. It don't keep nobody. It don't keep nobody. Ask them. I'm not a pretty girl, so you can't ask me. You can't use me as a reference. I'm not a pretty girl, and I guess because of that, people think, well, what do you know? Because you're not on that side of the you're not on that level of the spectrum. You're not on the upper end of the spectrum. But I coach women who are. And I've been around them all my life. So that's what qualifies me. But I want you to ask them yourself. Some of you probably are them. And you know how hard life is. You know the scam. You know you've been scammed too. You know you've been scammed too. So I'm like, there's a lot of chicks getting left. A lot of chicks are having their lives just played with, like Monopoly money. And they're investing time, and they're not getting anything. The only thing they have is a memory. The only thing they're getting in return is a memory. That's what it is. That's what it is. You're telling the truth. I know plenty of model-looking women that are single. Of course. So if we're talking about leveling up, there are women who don't even have to do half the work that some of these other women are required to do to get to her level, and she's already at the level you're trying to get to, and she don't have nobody's wife. She might be a girlfriend, but she's not the wife she want to be. And you up here running, trying to get up there. There's a whole lot of women already up here already. So you leveling up to do what, y'all? To do what, really? There's a lot of cute women out here that are single. I've seen beautiful women alone and abused by men too. Yeah. We all have. We all have. But when you bring it up, it's dismissed as I don't know, like it's folklore or something like that. Like it's an old wives' tale. It's not really true. And I have beautiful women come to me, email me all the time, Selfish, you know what, you're right. I've experienced everything so-called unattractive women have experienced. I've been dogged out too. You're right. They really, I used to think there was a difference. A lot of pretty girls come and we have private conversations where they admit to saying, I used to think that I did have privilege. Now I realize that was a joke. That was a game that men play. It's a game that men play. Men like what they like, and they like all kinds of things. They like all kinds of oddities. All kinds. Everybody can't be on top, and that's okay too. But you don't need to be in a place where you're being dogged out because you're not on top. Because at that point, it's what you're allowing to happen. It's what you're allowing to happen, and you become a participant in your degradation, or whatever degrading scenarios take place. You become a participant in it, and that's the part of this thing that we can control. Listen, your life has to mean something to you. You have to decide that your life means something to you. And that is the template. by which you go forth into the world and communicate with everybody. You communicate that energy to everybody that you meet, that your life means something to you. That's an energy that emanates from you, that permeates. That's what people sense first. People can tell, they can sense when something's off or something's wrong and you don't feel right or you're unsure, even if you look good. Even if you look good, have you not met people before that look good and you're like, something, this person a little crazy, or they on drugs, or what's going on? I think she a little something something. You felt it before. You felt it before. So a good outfit can't hide everything. It may be able to hide your cellulite, but it doesn't hide your character and how you feel about yourself. That energy is going to come out. We really think we're concealing a lot of internal things when we're not. Marilyn also talked about the 4 children she would have had if it wasn't for men in Hollywood making her have abortions. She said even if acting was over, she'd still have her kids. Wow. That's new. Marilyn Monroe said that? Yeah, they dogged her out. Marilyn Monroe, she was objectified for sure. They really passed her around and dogged the industry. The industry used her like a vaginal canal. They did. Oh, you watched her last interview? I need to go see that. Marilyn Monroe said men are wolves in sheep's clothing. She said none of them can be trusted. She got hurt by men a lot. Wow. So Marilyn Monroe said that. Listen, if we say that, now if I say that, they're gonna call me an angry black woman, resentful, spewing hatred, all of those things. If that was my marching cry, if that was my drum roll here, and not talking about anything positive. But it's real. It's real. I've never met a woman who hasn't been hurt by a man. I haven't met one who's never had an experience of betrayal or pain from being with a man. I haven't met one. Not to say that they don't exist, because you have some women that, with their high school sweethearts or whatever, those are blessed women that could be with just one man their entire lives, have one experience with one man who actually cares about them. Those women are blessed. Few and far between, though. Few and far between. We are objectified. So while men talk about all this thing about we just want money and their resources and all that stuff, men objectify women. We are objects. This is why we have a rating system. We don't have a rating system for men, but men have a rating system for us. Women could fall madly in love with a man who's mildly attractive or even unattractive. That happens all day long. All day long. So and we're not gonna outgrow that. That's just what it is. That's just how things are. So because we're objectified, because we are, you have to protect yourself as a woman. Especially you older women, like I said, with you posting your pound cakes on Facebook. You got all kind. Every day you got some pastries. You're baking some cookies or something like that. You just Mother Hubbard, Martha Stewart. all of that, and you sexy too. You sexy too. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. I say, I honestly, as a general rule, say don't believe them until they prove it. Like, don't believe anything a man says. Like, don't until there's proof. All of the women, including regular and celeb women, talk about being mistreated by men, including Halle Berry and Mariah Carey. Yeah, yeah. And when you look back, I want you to really think about when some of these celebrities, women, started declining. And it was always during a relationship with a man. Now, I'm not, to be clear here, I'm pro marriage, pro relationship. I'm not a feminist. For you MGTOW guys who are lurking on my page, you guys love coming here, whipping out your dinglings for whatever reason. I'm here, whatever. I'm not any of those things. But I want you women to take a mental inventory of when you started seeing these women changing. When did the drug habit start or escalate? When did the eating disorders start? When couldn't they hit a note? When was it hard for them to do what they usually did? And it's always right around the time of a relationship. That's why you have to be careful. You have to be careful, because if you get with the wrong person, the wrong man, he will literally vamp on you and suck the life force energy out of you. And we don't age well with men who vamp. Men who vamp will leave you like a dried up turd, like a dried up piece of dog turd on a corner, on a street corner somewhere. You like dried up shite. When he finished with you, nobody wants you. Like, for real. Like, for real. So you got to be careful. When you analyze your own life and take stock of when you started, let's say if you have any kind of chronic something going on with you in your body, when you analyze when that started, I bet it was a relationship with a guy. I bet it was some sort of traumatic situation with an intimate relationship that caused your pH to go off. You got the BV, the high blood pressure, the sugar diabetes, your hair falling out. I don't know, just whatever, skin rashes, eczema, whatever it is. I bet you were fine before you got into that relationship, and then once you got in there, you got sick. You got sick. These relationships are nothing to play with. They're nothing to play with. And I tell y'all all the time, stop letting these men play with your life. Katie says, I got cysts, acne, BV, migraines, sleepless nights. You see? You see what I'm saying? So this is what we're facing here. Your body is delicate. It's delicate. It is delicate. It's nothing to play around with. Everything affects you differently than it does with men. And this is why you have to be that more scrutinizing and thorough. When we're talking about getting into relationships, you got to be thorough, and you got to take your time, and you can't let these men play with your life. Some of y'all didn't have any issue about with depression and anxiety. You didn't get that till you got into a relationship. You were all mentally okay till you started screwing Derek or James or whoever it is. You were generally a happy person until you got into this relationship. Now you on medication for, now you on Prozac or whatever, because you can't get mentally stable. And you think I'm joking? Y'all know what it is I'm talking about. I got healthy when I finally got a divorce. Health got back on track. Yeah. That's what happens. My whole life has been stressful. I'm glad I never dealt with men. I can't tolerate their BS. I spoke to one narcissistic dude once. I was done after a week of dealing with his nonsense. Hey, that's how you got to do it. Once I saw a guy for a month, and every time I slept over, I had nightmares. Woke up screaming in the middle of the night. Nightmares? Ooh, you were sleeping with Satan. You were sleeping with a what do you call it? What's the bad angels is a cherub, a baby cherub. You were sleeping with an antichrist. Same, healthier and happier after divorce. Even my son says so. Yeah. Relationships are like food. Like you ingest each other. You feed off of each other. There's an energetic cycling or feeding off of each other. So you have to be careful with that, because some of you are food for him, but he doesn't nourish you. You give him food, but he gives you no food, and you become malnourished. Yep, weight gain, anxiety, sky high, all of that. All of that happens. So again, you got to be careful with all of this. Yes, if you sleep with extremely evil people, it will destroy your life. I feel lucky right before marriage or kids, I walked away. Lucky you. Lucky you. Can see my hands shaking and notice people noticing my nerves are all crazy too. Well, you gotta practice breathing, my dear. Was that Nini? Breathing exercises and getting out into the elements. The sun is our friend. Sun is a natural antidepressant. The sun, like sunbathing. So it's we have to get in tune with nature, and we have to create a lifestyle that incorporates nature in it, because we are affected by everything. Everything affects us. So that's important. Ladies, please don't date online. Those guys are creeps and never want anything serious. Yeah, those sites are crazy. Those sites are crazy. So all those bodies on the same mattress. Well, that's a whole nother animal right there. There's a lot of energy exchange on the mattresses too. But if we go there, that's the abyss that I don't want to go to right now. But yeah, it would behoove you to let go of all that. Yes, the sun is life. Online and meeting in real life, these new gen dudes are mess, period. A whole big mess. A whole big mess. So yeah, so that's what I have for y'all today. Be mindful of your friendships, these so-called friendships that you have, and understand that people have agendas that they conceal from you in order to get close to you, to overpower you, get what they want from you, and that sort of thing. And if you really walk in that and you're mindful of that, then nothing really would surprise you. Like, don't stop being surprised by what people are capable of. You know, let's stop for 2020 thinking that people aren't capable of doing certain things, because anybody's capable of anything, of anything. So don't live too surprised about it all. You know, try to be above it all and just be observant. Just be observant and not so emotionally invested in relationships with people. You know, don't be invested. Don't claim ownership to everyone. Just let everybody do their thing. Do their thing for as long as they're worth anything. They can be around you as long as they're worth being around. And when they're no longer worth or worthy of being around, then you let them go. You let them go. But learn how to let people go. Stop being attached to everybody. Learn how to let people go. Like, once they start acting funky, oh, okay, your time is what we call up, and let that be that. Let that be that. Do siblings have healthy relationships? A lot of them don't. Even with siblings, a lot of them you kind of gotta handle with a long handle spoon. Even siblings. So there's that. You're the only child. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, just let people be people, y'all. Let them be people, and let them play out their intentions. Allow people to show you their intentions. But you can't have an emotional investment and think you're going to be able to catch it. You really have to stay neutral. And I know that's hard for a lot of us, but that's the key to this thing, staying neutral. Not having left or right in it. Just right down the middle, like, okay, well, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Many times if you stop trying, bad people will slow walk out your life. Yeah, they will. They absolutely will. They absolutely will. All right, y'all. So we've reached the end of this live. You can catch me on subscribe to the channel. That's number one. Subscribe here. Please like up the stream. Go to theuglygirlsclub.com and subscribe to that site. Go to my art page, iloveherart.com, and pick up something there. I have payment plans for those who can't put it all up front. You got to email me and let me know what you want, though. You got to communicate with me. So do your homework, do your due diligence. Pass this video along to the groups that you are in, especially those level up groups. Y'all got to start recommending my stuff. Y'all want me to see everybody else's stuff? Y'all have to start recommending my information to those women in the level up groups that I know y'all go to, that talk nonsense, that need some black pill information, that need some black hat wisdom. You need to give them my site. You need to give them this channel address so they can start getting fed some of this stuff. Because I'm like, I'm really not interested in nobody else's stuff. If you're not sharing me to them, don't share them to me. It's got to be reciprocal. Oh, suckers, watch what she said and watch what she said. So have you shared mine? No? Then I don't want to hear it. Don't ask me about nobody else's stuff if you are not in their stream promoting me. That's how that goes. That's how that goes for 2020. Suckers, I want to share your video. None of the women I know like the truth. It's all right. You share it anyway, and let them decide. Sometimes they may say they don't like it and they still watch it anyway. Because I get that a lot. Because I didn't like you at first, but now I didn't want to watch you. I let your video go by, but now. So there's that. They may not like it at first, but they'll come around. They'll come around. I will always promote you even if they don't want to hear it. I appreciate it, V. All right, y'all. So I'm out of here. Stay blessed. Let's say a prayer for Kobe. And I'll be back tomorrow. All right. Peace and love.